She won't come out. Oh, kids are great with animals. He has a way with the dogs. It's not really about him. I'm 23 and I finished school in December, not May like everyone else, because I picked up a late elective that pushed my credits into the fall semester and it just sort of became a whole thing. So now I'm in this weird in-between where I'm technically a graduate, but there's no ceremony yet and none of my college friends are around, and I'm back in my childhood bedroom paying my parents $400 a month. It was their idea, actually. They said it would help me take the debt seriously, and I think they were right. But it also means I think about the $400 constantly in ways I didn't expect. Like, whether I've earned the right to have an opinion about the thermostat. My cat has been with me since sophomore year. She's a tortoiseshell, and I've never given her a name that stuck. I've tried 3 or 4 over the years, and none of them ever felt right. She's not a friendly cat. She's not unfriendly exactly, but she has a very specific idea of how close a person is allowed to get, and she enforces it without warning. When I moved back in, she found the sunroom almost immediately. It's a glassed-in room off the back of the house, low windows, afternoon light, faces the neighbour's side yard, and she basically decided that was her room. She'd sit at the lower pane for hours, just watching whatever was moving outside. The neighbours next door moved in about 2 years ago, when I was still away at school, so I only knew them the way you know people from other people's descriptions. My mum had mentioned a couple, early 30s, a little boy, 2 huskies. The huskies were the detail that came up most often, usually in the context of the fence, which apparently had a gap that the dogs used more than the gate did. Hey, I've been meaning to catch you. You're the one staying next door, right? Yeah, I've been back since January. He asks about that cat every single morning. I'm not even exaggerating.
She sits in the window.
So we were thinking, maybe sometime we could just pop over and say hi to her. The afternoon it actually started, I was coming back from a grocery run, and the neighbour was in her front yard with the boy when I pulled in, and she walked over while I was still gathering the bags. She was friendly immediately, in the way some people are where the friendliness is so efficient it's almost like a handshake. She introduced herself, said her son had been watching my cat in the window for weeks, and completely loved her, said it in a way that was clearly meant to be charming, and also clearly was charming, and then she asked if she could bring him over to meet the cat. Just like that. Not when would be good, not is that something you'd be open to, just the kind of ask that assumes the answer is obvious and the only remaining task is logistics. She's not really used to people coming over. Oh, that's totally fine, we're not in a rush. I'd have to check with my parents too, it's kind of their house. Of course, totally, just whenever it works.
Does she bite?
Yeah, sometimes, if she doesn't know you. I was still holding 2 bags of groceries, slightly off balance, and I did the thing where I didn't actually answer the question directly. I said something like, she's pretty skittish, and the neighbour nodded like that was a personality trait to work around rather than a reason. I said I'd have to see how she was doing, and that seemed to land as a yes in progress, which it wasn't, but I didn't correct it. What she didn't ask, and I kept coming back to this later, was whether the cat was even mine, or whether I was the right person to be inviting anyone into the house at all. She just saw a girl and a cat and a window. She won't come out. Oh, kids are great with animals. He has a way with the dogs. It's not really about him.
Can I see the videos again?
He's been looking forward to this for weeks, honestly. I pulled up a video on my phone instead. I found a few clips I'd taken of her over the past year. Her in a sunbeam, her doing that slow blink thing, her pressing her face against a window exactly like the one she was currently pressing her face against. And I showed them to the boy while we stood on the driveway. His face did something I wasn't prepared for. Some full body settling, like a lamp turning on. And he watched the videos for a while without saying much, and then looked up at the actual sunroom window where the actual cat was actually sitting and just stared. His mother watched him watch the window, and then she looked at me, and the quality of her friendliness shifted slightly, just a degree or two, the way a room changes when a cloud passes over the sun. She said something like, he's been looking forward to meeting her for weeks, and I said something like, she's really not good with strangers. And that was when the neighbour said it, casually, conversationally, in the same tone she'd used to ask the original question. She said it was a shame to withhold that happiness from him. Withhold. I just meant it's a shame he got so attached to the idea. Right.
Is the cat still in the window?
He'll get over it. Kids are resilient. I don't remember what she said after that because I was still back on that word, withhold, which is a word with a very specific shape to it. Like the cat was a thing I was holding behind my back. Like the window was a favor I'd been declining to give. The week after that was normal, mostly. The cat sat in the sunroom. The neighbour's kid was in the backyard a few times, and once I saw him standing near the fence looking at the sunroom window. Then my mom mentioned, at dinner, in that grocery list voice, that there was a post in the neighbourhood Facebook group. She said it the way she says most things. Without editorial, just the fact of it. And she slid her phone across the table so I could read it. The post was about outdoor cats. It was framed in the language of community concern, property values, local wildlife, the usual architecture of a grievance dressed as policy. It asked the HOA to consider formalising a restriction. It was written by my neighbour. The same neighbour whose huskies had 3 separate entries on that same page in the past year. 2 about the fence gap and 1 about a mess in someone's front garden, all logged by other people, none of them by me or my parents. My dad hadn't said anything at dinner, except that my parents didn't even have an outdoor cat, which was true. My cat hasn't been outside in years and has no particular interest in going outside, which means the restriction, if it passed, would change nothing about her life, and technically nothing about mine. Technically, I put in an application this morning for a position in a city 3 hours from here. The sunroom faces west and the light in there is still really nice in the late afternoon, and my cat is still in there most days, pressed against the lower pane, watching whatever moves on the other side of the glass.